Hi everyone, it's Max, and now is finally that moment. I am here to do my long requested eyeshadow tutorial video. So many of you guys have asked me to do this on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, literally tens of you, and so I figured, why not now? We're all under quarantine. I've got nothing else better to do other than a bunch of writing deadlines that I don't feel inspired to write for right now as we face down a global pandemic. So this sparks joy for me. And I feel like, in some sense, you could say it's a little bit superfluous, a little bit vacuous, superficial, maybe, but for me, this is my self-care. And I think self-care is really important right now. And for you, that might be smoking a fat blunt and eating some chocolate and listening to Jill Scott. For freaks like my boyfriend, that means reading Hannah Arendt's The Origins of Totalitarianism. For me, it's putting on frocks like this and putting on makeup because it makes me feel like I have control over my own body and my circumstances, even if I cannot change the world. I wrote an apocalypse musical, or I'm writing it right now, and one of the main characters is this former makeup influencer, and she has a song called Came to Slay, where it's, the world's gone astray, a new disaster every day, but don't forget that you're still sickening in your own special way. You can't change your fate, but you can change your face, and for a moment feel like you're in control and everything's in the right place. Take a deep breath. So that's what I'm going to try to do here with you today, and I, full disclosure, really have no idea what I'm doing. So if I make a complete idiot out of myself, feel free to laugh at me. I'm just going to do my best to emulate all of some of my favorite YouTube makeup artists that I follow all the time, because that shit is my ASMR. People like Teresa's Dead, Butte Bean, Rocio, Colorful Camel. So I'm gonna do like the shitty gay low rent version of that. And I have no idea really even what eye makeup look I want to create for you today. I'm just going to let the spirits of faggotry guide my way. And I've got some palettes in front of me. I've got the Pinky Rose Exotic Peacock. To be quite honest, I'm not here for the formula. It's like patchy as hell, but the color story is dope. I have this custom palette that I made, NBA Cosmetics. Some of these shades are pretty cool. Let me crack this open. There's like some duochromes and multichromes in here. Let me see if I can show you. This is like the best thing of all time. I kind of don't understand why you would bother with a normal shade when you can have a multichrome. Do you see that at all? How do I pick this up? See, this is the thing I don't understand about making videos. I feel like I have to fucking matrix this shit right now in order to get it into the camera. Oh well, just trust me, it's really cool. I have this green. Can you see that? Oh, maybe that's a better way for me to swatch this shit. The sparkly green. Maybe I can do something with that. Okay, this is coming together into something. I've got this. Oh, that's really dope. Okay. Do we like this color story? How are we feeling about it? I don't know. I think I'm just going to dive in. The thing I find always so amusing about so many of these makeup tutorials from all of these influencers is that it's like the colors are like cacophony coral or like terrific toucan. And you're like, ma'am, you need to calm down. That's orange and mint. So I'm not going to tell you what any of these colors names are. I'm just going to say that's orange, use the purple. And in general, stay at home right now. Order makeup online if you have to. I'm sure you guys have some shitty palettes just like hanging around. If you don't, next time you go to Duane Reade in order to get your absolute essentials, just like pick up some like shitty $15 palette and you can play with that. Colors are colors. You can make it work. You don't have to spend like $100 or something on a palette. Anyway, okay, I think I'm just going to go in with this color. Let's try a little bit of this purple blue multichrome. Okay, and so what I like to do is I like to just slap it on my face and get as much pigment as possible. If you have fallout, you can always just use a makeup wipe, but let's check this out. Okay. So with these multichromes, they're not like necessarily the most layerable, They're more like what you want to put directly on your lid. And I kind of like this company MBA because, to be honest, it's just like the cheaper ripoff of something like Cleonid Cosmetics, which like that shit is more expensive than cocaine. There is no reason that eyeshadow should cost that much money. Not that I ever have done cocaine, because I have not, but people tell me. Guys, I don't know what's going on with the world right now. It's pretty scary. I mean, I have two grandmas, one who is in a nursing home right now, who is 88 and has emphysema and like pulmonary disorders in her lung. That's how you know I'm a musical theater artist and not someone who went to medical school. I'm like, pulmonary disorders in her lung. I think the name for it is COPD. And I have a grandma who's like this 90-year-old Jewish lady who cannot take care of herself. And so she has these two women assisting her. Actually, I think 3 women assisting her. And they have to take the subway every day to get to her. Okay, so just looking at myself right now, I've gone a little bit ham on this, but that's okay, because if you know my personality, you know that subtlety is not necessarily something I value. And, you know, we live once, so make an impression, why not? But I think in general, you can just kind of slap this shit right on your face. Just like really go in. Because you can always clean it up with a makeup wipe. So I'm going in with this purple. And I would love, if you guys are watching this, to show me what you create. Because it's keeping me sane until the Final Fantasy VII remake comes out, and then I will be playing that. Okay, so we got this purple in, and now I think we want to layer in a pink to brighten it up a little bit. Now, a lot of like the future legendary non-binary children of America and elsewhere, some in London now, have written to me in the past about makeup tips and getting into makeup, and I love it. I support all of them. Makeup is stupid, it's fun, it's silly, it's something to make you feel good about yourself. So feel free to play. I am not going to advocate that you do anything in some kind of dogmatic way, although I will tell you, if you put a dark color in your inner corner, it will look like someone probably beat you, and so you might not want to do that. But anything beyond that, I think, is totally fine. So now I'm going to take the edge of this purple, and I'm going to go over it with this really garishly bright pink. Because that is the kind of obnoxiousness we are going for today. I just moved into a new apartment, which is really exciting for me, other than the fact that I have no idea how I'm going to pay rent right now, because I had a show that I was doing on this cruise ship that was actually going to be pretty fierce, I think. Like about 150,000 people a year were going to see it. And the job was going to pay my rent for the year. And it has been indefinitely postponed with no timeline on when I will be paid. But that's okay. The only problem is I moved apartments, and I have no way of getting a subletter in my old apartment. So technically, I'm on the hook to pay not 1, but 2 rents right now. Neither of which I have current employment to be paying. But we're not going to worry about that. We're just going to blend away our problems and hope for the best, which I recommend you do as well. Okay, and we're blending, and we're blending, and we're blending. So do you see that? Can you see this? And if you want to get it even brighter, I have these products that I've started using by this company. Oh, do you like the frock? Do you like the way it shimmers? Do you like the way it catches the light? There's this company called Suba that makes these waterliners. I don't know if you know of this company called Cryoland. They do like theatrical makeup. This is like the good version of this. I want to love Kryolan, but the honest truth is their products fucking suck. And it's very expensive, but I love the packaging. I love the aesthetic, but this actually works. And the way I do it, they're water activated, but I just use my saliva, which like you definitely probably should not do on another person in the time of the coronavirus. In general, you shouldn't be licking people's eyes unless you have some kind of intimate understanding with them or arrangement. But it's not super sanitary, but I'm just going to do it anyway. So you activate the pigment and it's neon pink. Do you see that? And so I'm going to take the neon pink and I'm going to go even over what I did before with that purpley pink. That purpley pink. Do you see that? Do you see how fucking crazy that looks? I mean, you want this look to make people walking by you on the street think that you're off your meds. That's what we're going for. Yes. Okay, this is coming together into something. It's really exciting for me that I moved in with my boyfriend because we've been together for 5 years. 5.5 years, actually. And for 3 of those years, he lived in New Haven, and he actually took like a $15,000 pay cut in order to do this job that he really deeply cared about. He does like solutions journalism, so he's all about making the world better, doing, you know, kind of hard-hitting investigations. He writes a lot on education and reporting, but it meant that I had to basically not only be in a relationship with him, but in a relationship with the Metro North, because I was on the subway every other weekend. And so, although these circumstances are incredibly busted, not just for making a makeup tutorial, but moving in with your long-term partner, I am excited that we're finally together. And I have this studio partly out of necessity, just because like I have so many cosmetics that, you know, my boyfriend, of course, is like, I don't want that shit in my bathroom. And like, do you blame him? I don't. Okay. So do you see this? This is the look that you want to have. I feel like I'm doing a terrible job at this tutorial. Are you learning anything about eye makeup, or are we just having a kiki and you're having a getting ready with me? I don't know. I'm sorry if I'm bad at this. But now we're gonna make it even more loud and obnoxious. Do we think we wanna do the green or this mint? This company, by the way, is fucking dope. This is Lethal Cosmetics. I'm not getting paid to promote them. I actually just believe in their product and I think it's really good. It's really pigmented. Teresa is dead turned me on to this, so thanks, girl. I think I wanna do a little bit of this and then add a little bit of that. Okay, let's find out. I just do this with my finger, just because I like fingering things that are sparkly. Oh, yeah. Uh-huh. That's pretty good, isn't it? Oh, yeah. Uh-huh. I'm like making sex noises right now. I apologize. I'm going to put a parental advisory on this makeup tutorial. But I'm just being true to myself. I've been talking about it a lot with my therapist recently, because yes, I am in theater and I have a therapist, and we've been doing our sessions digitally, remotely. But for my entire life, for reasons I'm not even sure of, you know, I grew up very bullied, and I feel like I've always provoked very strong feelings in people for reasons I'm not entirely sure of, that seem out of my control, even when I'm just being my authentic self. And I've had to come to a place where I accept myself and I realize that I am not for everybody. You know, there's a lot of people in this world who basically just want to eat Wonder Bread and mayo for every meal, and that's totally chill. But I am more of a pomegranate molasses or an orange blossom water, or occasionally, if you catch me on the wrong day, I'm a little bit of an anchovy, but that's okay because some people are ride or die for anchovies, and I would rather be loved by being who I authentically am by a smaller group of people than kind of like meh by a bunch. So thanks, peeps who are here for me. Fuck the haters always. I'm gonna continue being myself unapologetically. And I'm like someone whose art is like pretty political. I'm outraged by almost everything. And so I don't want you to take me doing this makeup tutorial necessarily as like, oh, well, I don't think there's problems anymore in the world. I think the world has so many problems that it's overwhelming. And for someone like me who has like an anxiety disorder and is medicated for it, it's both terrifying and also validating, like I told you. But I can't always just get sucked into these like online spirals of absolute utter hopelessness. Like I need to do stuff to preserve myself and my creativity. And like the only way I can get up and write, I don't know about you artists out there, because I assume other than like the majority of fagatrons watching this, you're probably in theater. I don't know how you create, but it's very hard for me to create coming from a place of despair. And so I need to do things that give me hope, like this. And talking about the bullying that I experienced before, I have like a lot of body dysmorphia issues from that. And so like I have this unique X-Men like superpower of when I look at my face in the mirror, I can like turn my face into a Picasso painting. Like I will literally watch my features move, and it's like, it's weird. And I see how I look in photos, but that is not how I see myself when I look at myself in a mirror. And so makeup actually is like very healing for me, because it allows me to feel like I have control over my body and my destiny. And that's great. So like, yeah, makeup is stupid, but it's also saved my life many times. Okay, so now I'm going to take this 99-cent store bullshit, Nikak, Nicka, oh, it's Nika K, Nikak, Nika K. This was sold from Field Beauty in Brooklyn. It's like $2, which by the way, I love Field Beauty. I mean, the owner of that place is this lovely older Korean woman. And I've shown her a bunch of the videos from K-pop, and we've like bonded over the fact that I refer to myself as a Michinyon, which is like a crazy bitch. But she corrected me and said Michinom, which is like the male pronoun for that. And I was like, well, you haven't seen me with my makeup yet. But she sold me this, and it's great, and it's 99 cents. I mean, I think there are like $2. I think there's like some very expensive version of this by Fenty at Sephora that's like $20 that you definitely should not pay for. So I'm going to take, I'm going to take this, and I'm going to go wing it out. Wing it out. And like, I've watched a bunch of people do some crazy shit where they like tape their eyes, you know, in order to get the perfect wing. And like, I understand. I mean, especially if you've watched that show on Netflix, Glow Up, it's all about precision. But I kind of feel like fuck precision if you're getting the overall effect. And like, I don't have time in my life for that. So I just like smack it on. In my life, and I'm sure you ladies relate to this, have you ever worked so hard on a makeup look only to have the eyeliner last, and you're trying to get it absolutely symmetrical and perfect, and like it goes just a little bit off at the last moment, and so then you have to correct the other end, and like before you know it, your wing is like Trixie Mattel and it's going all the way to there? That's why I don't fuck with that. Okay, so we're gonna do it on the other side. Okay. We're feeling her. And like, okay, I'm going to show you this trick. Might make me look crazy, but that's okay. That seems to be the look we're going for. I like to take a little bit of this, and I like to put it right here in my inner corner, and I like to draw it down to like extend the eye in a little bit of like a bird-like way, because I want to look like a fucking swan. Or a peacock. That's what my boyfriend thinks my spirit animal is. I think he's a coyote. Okay, doing that in the other eye. Now, it might be hard for you out there to see my face, but it basically looks like a glitter jellyfish alien flamingo disco ball shadow over my face. So I'm going to wipe some of that off. I don't have any like mics to do ASMR shit, so Just bear with me. But yeah. What are your self-care routines while you're dealing with all this bullshit? Are you like drinking all day? Are you baking shit? Are you reading books like my boyfriend that are like 800 pages on the history of desegregation movements in this country? Are you writing musicals? I'm trying to write. It's very interesting. As someone who has been emerging for a long time, who was on the verge of having a show on Broadway, and I'm hoping that that still happens, but we kind of don't know what's happening with the industry right now. Having to think about what is my responsibility as an artist in a time like this to actually create, to entertain, and something that I've been actually giving a lot of care and attention to is this idea that entertainment is actually really important, right? Like, I'm someone who normally is like, all of my work has to be political, it has to be pedagogical, it has to teach people shit. And I think what we're learning right now is that there are maybe actually limits of how much art itself can change the world. But what art unequivocally does is it bolsters people's spirits, and we need to bolster people's spirits so people can go out into the world and change the world, because I believe that people still can do that. I don't know about theater. I'd like to believe it, but okay, what the fuck am I doing for my under eye? You have to be careful with your under eye because, one, I think with makeup in general, you're getting temporary beauty for a long-term sacrifice, right? Like, you look fierce, but the reality is if every day you're tugging at your lower lid, like, you're going to start looking crazy in a couple years, because that shit, especially as you get into your 30s, like the elastin and the collagen in your face starts to go away, and then your eyelid is just sagging down to here. So these days I'm actually very careful about what I put under my underlid and if it's like really worth it, because I don't know, I don't want to look like a crazy bitch. I think I'm gonna do this pink. Let's see what she does. This is also NBA Cosmetics. I got this as a freebie. Just use whatever fucking pink you have. I'm sorry in advance if I'm cursing a lot. It's because I'm angry at the patriarchy. Okay, and we're just gonna meet where I put that blue. Oh yeah. That looks great. I can't wait for my boyfriend to see me after I leave this room. He's gonna look at me like, who hurt you? And I'm gonna say, society. Okay. I learned this trick from, do you guys ever see that blog Advanced Style? There's all these women who are like in their 70s through 90s who were just kind of like fierce fashion icons. I watched this video of one of them. It was like this German woman, and she was talking about how she went to like a Duane Reade and she got this eye pencil that was like a robin's egg blue, and she was like this German lady, and she was like, it's so vulgar, but look what it does. So I'm gonna show you what the fuck it does. Take this blue, go in your waterline. Try not to stab yourself in the eye. It takes a little practice, but oh yeah. Yeah, look what that does. Excuse me? Ma'am. And by the way, all this takes practice. I feel like a lot of people on Facebook who comment on my things are like, teach me, I'll never be that good. And the reality is you just have to do the shit like 50 times and then you will be that good. It's not rocket science, it's eye makeup. If you were asking me to teach you how to use Ableton Live, I would be like, yes, you will not be that good. I am not that good. That shit is impossible. Okay, so that's cool. But I think I want to take it a little bit even farther. And so I'm going to take my Suva waterliner again for a little bit of orange. And this time I think I might use a precision liner because I'm about to do some hella advanced shits. If I can find my special magical tiny brush. Can I? Is it anywhere? Yes, here we go. So this is a Cryoline brush. I know I like shat on Cryoline earlier, but like their brushes are fine. It's just their eye makeup products that are trash. All right, so licking it again with my currently COVID-19 free saliva. But by the way, I just want to say, I think we need to really not stigmatize anyone if they get this, because chances are we're all going to get it. And in general, it's just shitty to stigmatize people for illness, period. But I don't know. There's a part of me that low-key thinks I already had it and I just had mild symptoms. But then again, I already told you I'm a Jewish hypochondriac, so don't trust anything I say. Okay, so under my eye, I have this pink, and I'm going to go in towards the blue swan, and I'm going to add a little bit of this orange to like really make it look psychotic. Oh, yeah. I feel like this is starting to feel like Braveheart on some kind of like weird day glow acid 90s trip. Category is things that shouldn't work together but kind of do. All right. Okay, I think this is like pretty much almost done. We just need an inner corner highlight, which is very important, by the way. And for that, I'm going to use, am I going to use this? No, I'm not, fuck her. I'm going to use this. So there are these like pastel highlighty colors. I have this, that, and that. Which one do I want? I'm going to use this. I'm going to use this pink one right here. Let me try to show you if I can in a swatch. Can you see that at all? Okay, so I just dab this on my eye. Just pound it into your eye. I mean, try not to get it into your actual eye, because then you could get like an eye infection or irritation. Do you see that? Holy shit. If only my bank account could be like that right now. And we're doing the other one. Yeah, that's amazing. Oh, wait, except I just got it all over my nose and now I look like a psycho. Okay, that's great. And now we're just gonna use mascara. I like to use a colored mascara. I definitely recommend blue. I just feel like, why would you use black mascara if you can use blue mascara? You know, there's like no reason for it. Okay, so we're just gonna like dab that on, and I don't have some like secret shit about mascara. You know how to use mascara unless you're like a monster. The chorus of that song that I mentioned earlier is, "'Cause if this should be my final day, I'm showing death I came to slay." Grace McLean sang it a lot better than that at my Joe's Pub series. But that's okay. I'm doing my best. In my head, I sound like Grace McLean. It's just like, when my voice comes out, I'm like, who's that gay Jew? Okay, so we've done the lower lash. I think the lower lash is really important. People like often like don't really care about the lower lashes, but I feel like if you have like tiny Jew eyes like I do, you need everything you can get. Great. Now I'm going to do something that I don't necessarily recommend for everyone, because this is truly a little bit extra, but it just kind of works with my life, which is I like to draw in my brows in this kind of like kabuki-esque theater way. So I'm going to take this Makeup Forever orange red pencil, and I'm going to do pencil in my brow a little bit in the middle of it. Do you see that? What I'm doing? Just like pretending I'm a phoenix rising from the ashes of capitalism. Oh yeah. And then I'm going to take another Suva liner, this one in this purpley color. It's called Grape Soda. Yum. Saliva, again, very important. And then I'm just going to draw a really sharp edge in Grape Soda. And I'm going to meet the peacock, swan liner, whatever you want to call it, from before. I don't know if I should highlight my brow bone right now. I kind of like don't give a shit, but maybe I'll do it just to be extra. When I was super young, I remember seeing those Kevin Aquan makeup books and thinking makeup was the coolest thing of all time. Also, my mom had a bunch of David LaChapelle's photography books, and like the makeup looks in those books are absolutely incredible. And those really inspired me. And I remember telling my mom I wanted to be a makeup artist. And my mom said something like, "You must mean you want to be a painter because you couldn't be a makeup artist unless you were gay." And I was like, well, I'm not gay. That was a lie. I'm like pretty fucking gay, you guys. Okay. And to make the ombre on the edge of that even darker, we're going to add a little bit more of that blue again, because we are about the ombre here right on the end. And I feel like for stuff like this, like you probably should use a makeup wipe, but I just use the edge of my finger to clean. Oh yeah. Okay, that looks good. And now for like the innermost part of this brow, let's try using a little bit of this gold. Why not? Let's like fuck it up. Oh, wow. Okay, this was a choice. This might be what I tell a bunch of my actors, strong but wrong. We'll see. What do we think? Ooh, actually I kind of like that a lot. I'm actually going to add a little bit of that gold, because that pink duochrome shift highlighter, pastel, whatever you want to call it thing, had a little bit of gold in the pink anyway. I'm going to add a little bit of gold to the top line on top of the blue. Oh yeah. And I feel like this is just like a good basic everyday look that you might want to wear to Duane Reade to get your Pedialyte. And then the people at that Duane Reade will question your priorities, and that's okay, because everyone has different priorities in a time like this, and you need to do what feels good for you. Great. Love her. All right, I think we're done with this. I think basically I'm going to put on some foundation and call it a day. So I have some water in a shot glass. I don't believe in like spending $20 on those sponges. Just get some like 99-cent store, whatever, who cares, stuff. Do I even have foundation? What's my life going on? I have like all these craft paints on my table. Okay. Well, I don't have foundation, so I'm actually going to show you what I do with concealer, which actually sometimes looks a little bit more natural anyway, which is that I just use concealer and I spot correct rather than putting on an all face foundation and I pretend I woke up like this. So you just put it on all of your like fucked up spots that you're like, why do those exist? Why is that there? Who do you think I am? What if I just like went out like that? I was like, that's the look. People tell me I have nice skin and I really appreciate that because I had like disfiguring acne when I was in high school that left me with tons of scars all over my face. And because of that, I take my skincare really seriously and have worked really hard to improve it, but it used to be really bad. So that's why I love YouTube people like Rocio Seja, because they're like really upfront about their struggles with skincare. And I think that that is like really important and inspirational for a lot of people. Okay, so take that sponge and just like pound it in again. And don't be gentle, just beat your face. That's why drag queens say beat your mug. You literally have to beat your fucking face. And if you get a little bit on your lips, it's okay. If you're gonna put lip color on anyway, it's probably better. It's actually just giving a base, a neutral base, that then you can apply color to. Yeah, so now the intended effect is to look ghostly. I, unfortunately, am quite melanin deficient, but I am working with what I've been given. Work. Spot correcting just a little bit more on those like troublesome areas that piss you off, which I guess for me is my entire cheek right now. Great. Here's this Anasui brush. I bought it just because I liked how the brush looked before I was even really using blusher or highlighter or anything. So now I will bring back that Huda Beauty product. Hi. Because she's real cute for a cheekbone highlight. I love that, this white color in Santorini. I've been to Santorini, that shit was dope. Okay. So just go ham for that. Really, just like turn yourself into a disco ball. I do the tip of my nose right above my lips. You could put some on your forehead if you want, why not? If you want to do your brow bone like right around the edge of your eyebrow, you kind of can, but I don't know. I'm just gonna leave that alone. I don't really care about that. Okay, and we're gonna finish this off with a lip. And I feel like, let's try something wild. Okay, Extreme Coral. This is another 99-cent store secret. I feel like you should not be buying lipstick that is not at 99-cent stores because it is like full of cancer and very pigmented, which like we know you want. Oh yeah. This is like whore red. I'm like a prostitute that gets murdered in a David Mamet play right now. Okay, so we did that. I'm gonna go back in again with this orange and I'm going to put a little bit just like in the center. Oh, that's bad, what the hell? Okay, if you get a little bit of lipstick, just like put more concealer on the side. And then no one has to know whatever happened. Okay, great. Great. And then to finish off this look, we're gonna go back in with this rainbow. And we're just gonna like swirl this and take that, and we're gonna use it as a blush, and go like that. Put a little bit there, a little bit there. Great. And we are done. This is the look. How do we feel about it? And you know, if you want to make it a little bit more extra, put on a jacket. Alright, well that was probably my first and possibly only makeup tutorial I will ever do, unless you guys let me know that you want to see more or other looks. Otherwise, I might stick to my day job, which is dismantling the patriarchy and writing musicals. But anyway, I wanted to send a message of love to everyone and say no matter what you're doing to take care of yourself, you're doing okay right now. You don't have to be productive. You don't have to write King Lear. You don't have to do anything. So if that involves for you writing, great. If you want to just do your makeup and stay home, great. If you, well, you have no fucking choice. You have to stay home. You have to stay home. But if you want to also just be in your sweatpants, live. I respect that and support that. Anyway, much love. Bye.